Hello, Harlock. If you'd like to ask a question, question in brackets will allow me to pull it out from the list more easily, although I'll try and look at everything I can. I'm just going to get ready, brace myself. Me. La 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 la. Oh. Hit. Don't let me sitting, mate. How loud is that? That's alright, isn't it? Volume-wise? As long as I don't get really excited. I better tweet that I'm streaming. That's a good point. Right. Let's get this show, such as it is, on the roads. Ha! I've got a bit of a cough at the moment, so I need to apologise for constantly coughing at people. So hopefully that won't happen too much. I expect it will happen a reasonable amount. Is that good? Can you see me? See my beautiful egg, weird-shaped headness? Just, it is what it is. I've got a beautiful head. You hate it because you ain't it. Deal with it. When is CitizenCon? 23rd of November. Starting at... is it... Schedule. Let's have a look at the schedule again. CitizenCon starts at 1 PM UTC, which is GMT, at on the 23rd of November, and it is at Manchester this year, and I will be attending. And we'll see what we can do when it comes to getting interviews and stuff. I'm going there as press, or at least partly as press. I'm allowed in the press area. And I've got my GoPro and gimbal and stuff like that. I've got some mobile recording equipment. I'm there more for interviews and to find out stuff. And networking and chatting to people more than anything else. It's sort of like great for meetups, great for chatting, great to seeing what's going on. But rather than video content, I'm more there to learn stuff and to get as much information as I can about stuff that's not shown at CitizenCon. There's a thread on my community section on YouTube, also on my Discord, and in any of these videos, if you've got questions that you would like to ask devs at CitizenCon, that I can ask the devs at CitizenCon for you. If I find the appropriate dev or the appropriate time to ask it, I will. It's the idea there. There's quite a lot of questions already, but I'm going to sort of compile those questions down into good ones and terrible ones, and then sort of like link them together where possible. A lot of them are asking very similar things. I might not be able to ask your exact question, but I hopefully will be able to add it as part of a line of questioning or something like that. Obviously, I'm very interested in some of the tech side when it comes to server meshing, amounts of players on servers, tick rates and stuff like that, but also all the new gameplay loops, all of the actual tangible gameplay area, new ships, stuff like that. So a lot of tangible, what are we getting in the near future, what are we getting in the distant future, gameplay-wise, but also some of that back-end tech. So that's my sort of focus typically, but I will try to get a bit more of other people's there. So, bam, let's have a look. How far are we behind? Well, I'm 8 minutes behind already, and we've only just started. Perfect. You know Astro demos? No, I don't. Should I? Is that another content creator? Are new mining features coming in 3.8? Well, it's a potential. So it looks like new mining features are coming in to some degree in 3.8 or 3.9 probably. And let me show you this. So typically they're going to start working on things that are not all the time, but mostly within the next 2 major patches now because of the staggered development process. And in the latest Star Citizen monthly report, they talked a lot about, or at least a little bit about, quantum fuel mining and refining, which they've been working on. And they've been building out new types of mining laser. I'm assuming that's, for the most part, for the Prospector, the mining laser, but maybe it will be attached to other ships. Maybe it will also be the FPS mining tool as well. And there's also going to be consumables that you can use during the mining process to do various tasks, sort of like ones that have been mentioned are ones that allow you to more readily mine a rock that's resisting you, or cooling down, or like reducing the power output quickly so that the rock doesn't implode, or explode, in fact. There's also talk about volatile cargo and some other stuff like that. So it's my expectation that within 3.8, 3.9, there will be some new mining consumables or mining tools or types of mining laser and some general tweaks to the mining mechanics like there are in every patch. That was from Citizen Kane. I will start reading out the names of the people that ask the questions. Will that make people happier? Will the Vanguard Warden be for sale at CitizenCon? Almost certainly, starting the 23rd of November, at a lower price or at all available. So it will be available, almost certainly, unless they do something weird this year, but it's 99% likely that almost all the ships that have previously gone on sale will be available, even if they're just in limited number. So maybe you'll get Idrises and Javelins available, but only a couple of hundred of them. At a lower price, well, as part of a package, you might be able to get a discount as if you're buying a larger package. They might sell discount, actually money discounted starter packs as well, but I wouldn't expect single ships to have a discount beyond potentially them going, these are more on sale. If you buy them with new money, you get them at a slightly lower price. Is God real? That is a question that really no one can answer, like tangibly, and rightly so, because if God was real and provable, then it would take away your free will to quite a large extent. It's a long form conversation we could have. I am I'm Christian light. I don't really talk about any form of my beliefs to anyone because what's right for me might not necessarily be right for you. I feel religion gives you a good sort of like moral compass when you're young, as sort of like a nice building bridge, whatever religion that is typically. And then as you get older, you should choose for yourself. That's my theory. Doesn't really matter what sort of beliefs you have, as long as they're built on a good moral sort of like backbone. I think you'll probably be a good person. And also that choice that you make yourself is great as well. Perfect. Are you trans? No. Should I be? I mean, it's 2019. Maybe I am. But no, I'm not. I'm a beautiful egg. On my hat's right side, below the thrust output, is a little symbol, round like a target or something. What's that for? Round like a target? What's he talking about? Different on different ships. It's probably for something. Turn it on and off, and I don't know why. What button are you using to turn it off? Expect it's decoupled mode. He's talking about. Maybe. What concept do you think? I'm really bad at remembering what pictures look like in my head and sort of like 3D space. I sort of like can't picture things very well in my head. Good with like bullet points and text. What concept do you think will make its appearance at CitizenCon? Concept, don't 100% know. We can talk about some concepts in a second. So I'm suspecting to see the Carrick. I'm expecting to see the Pisces, and them to be almost flyable, if not flyable, at that time. There's potentially going to be some other straight-to-flyable ships as well. So I would expect to see a larger ship on concept. So like a Anvil, maybe Corvette, or larger ship sort of thing. There's a lot of the concept ships they could do. I'd like to see the Titan suits, but I think it's likely to be mostly straight to flyable ships, oddly, or ships that are going to be in our hands pretty soon. The monthly report sort of like suggests that as well. But yeah, I'd expect to see a concept ship or two as well mixed in. I mean, they are merging CitizenCon with the anniversary sale this year, so typically they'd have these sort of like two large periods where they can make a lot of money and they can release these concepts and release these straight to flyable ships. But this year, that they're doing it both at the same time. I would expect that's because they're doing a marketing push for Squadron 42 and to trying to sort of like wow people into making Star Citizen a bit more mainstream. Welcome back, Bored. But I will be doing a video on updates to what we expect to see at CitizenCon and all that sort of stuff probably next week. Obviously, we've had the monthly report. There's been a load of new information about CitizenCon and teasers for that. So we can do an updated video for that. But I need to sit down, think about what's already been said, take it with all the other information I know. Welcome back, Bored. How was your weekend of board games with your pals? So, from last Friday, I went to a board game convention, played a load of board games, which was really good fun. My mate Mike's doing sort of like these gaming tables as well. We was demoing them for D&D, so they were sort of like they had a computer on top, so that they've got a digitized map that you can change, and it also had like sound rigs and smoke machines and lighting and a projector, and it was sort of like all for immersion for D&D. Really quite cool. I'll talk about those at some other point. But then after that, I took this. I sort of did some work on Sunday, and then was off to Centre Parks with my mates for private LAN, playing board games, mostly Legacy Betrayal and some PC stuff through the week. Legacy Betrayal is a good board game, however, it is a bit sort of like taxing on my mind and makes me go a bit mad. We've got like another 3 sessions of it that we need to complete, hopefully before the first quarter of 2020. It was good. It was good to rest. And then I went on Saturday. I got back on Friday, did some panic work. On Saturday, I went to just down the road from me. There was a game called Den of Wolves, a mega game, so like 50 people, for a mixture of roleplay and sort of like this one-shot game that they've made. I was there as a journalist, sort of like reporting what was happening. It was styled on Battlestar Galactica, but instead of Cylons, it was just very aggressive humans that sort of like just, it's the same story as Battlestar Galactica. They wiped out all the other human colonies, and the humans are on the run. It was really good fun. There was a huge amount of people there, all playing, representing separate ships in this fleet. I was, for the most part, in the chambers reporting on what the council was saying, and then trying to find out who traitors were and that sort of stuff. But my sort of role was to give a quick, every half an hour, give a quick couple of minute news update to everyone to say, this is what happened this turn, this is what new laws have been passed, this is some other weird stuff, and this could affect morale, this could give people more information, and all that sort of jazz. Do you use the keyboard and mouse, or do you use some sort of joystick HOTA? So, keyboard and mouse is my preferred medium to control Star Citizen, just for ease of use. I know the key bindings, easier to change them, easier to keep them sort of like contiguous between patches, and I move between first-person shooting and combat, all that sort of stuff. It's much easier for me to do tutorials using the keyboard as well. It's the most commonly used device. However, HOTAS, I love using a HOTAS more than anything else. If I could have the space for it and it was really easy for me to flick around and get really good with, I probably would use my Virpil Constellation Delta. That is by far the best HOTAS I've ever used. Virpil, fantastic, fantastic products. I heard there was another alien panel at CitizenCon this year. Maybe they'll just show us a jump point to an alien system with an alien metropolis. I mean, if they show alien planets or city, even if it's at a distance, absolutely amazing. I hope we see something cool like that. I mean, it's possible we'd see something Vandal-like. I mean, I can imagine they've started to do a load of Vandal architecture. And if indeed Vandal have planets, not really sure. Maybe they're nomadic. I need to do some more research beyond what we currently have. I do think we're going to see the Pyro system and potentially some other star systems. They don't have to be fully fleshed out or anything. They just want us to show them off. Then CIG can go, ha! We've got loads of stuff like that. In the monthly report again, they were talking about planets and star systems that they've been testing in QA. They didn't see much more than that beyond that they were testing these new planets and systems every day. Pixo, what is your view on Carrick hype? I'm relatively hyped about it. I mean, I love the 890 jump. I think the Carrick's probably one of my favourite ships in the game. Well, on paper, that's going to be in the game. It's because it's sort of like able to do a huge range of gameplay, super multi-role with a small crew complement. So like you can play it with just a close group of friends. And I love the idea of exploration, and the character's got a little bit of everything, hasn't it, right? Do you know if both sets of presentations will be live streamed? Yes, they will. You should be able to switch camera between them, or see them on 2 different channels. But I believe you can switch camera between them. The schedule for me, the schedule has me concerned, as it appears to only point towards one stage that will be streamed. I believe it is both streams, both stages being streamed. Have you seen the GameStar article on Planet Tech V4? I'm not sure if I have. Is it new, or is it... I've seen an older... I've seen all of the articles on Star Citizen that I'm aware of for the within the last 10 days. No, previous to the last 10 days. If it's come out in the last 10 days, I might not have seen it. Is the A90 Jump going to go on sale? Will it be limited? Almost certainly should go on sale during the Star Citizen / anniversary sale. I would expect it to be limited, yes. That was Turi 8. Turi 8. Glitchy the Dragon. Hello there. How's it going, Bored? Love your videos. You're my go-to for Star Citizen news. I had a question mark in there, that's why I picked it out. Will we be able to use the rocket launcher as a close quarters weapon? So, I believe pressing middle mouse button at the moment with the weapon out does punch with it. I would potentially expect... but there's certainly the potential for you to be able to push people or punt them with with the larger weapons at point blank. Someone's saying that only the main stage is live streamed. As far as I was aware, it's going to be both stages going to be live streamed. I may be wrong with that. I will find out for sure. Secondary stage is only on YouTube afterwards, apparently. Okay, I'll check that out. If that is the case, I would be reasonably upset. I mean, there's only 2 things I actually want to see on the second stage. So let's bring up the schedule here and show you what I will be watching live for the most part. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, so yeah, so that's what it suggests. Anvil stage, watch from home on twitch.tv/StarCitizen. Crowshaw, all panels will be uploaded on YouTube after CitizenCon. So, last time I actually heard anything with this is that they were going to be streaming both stages. But this would suggest that's not the case. That you can watch the main stage throughout the day, and then the secondary stage only when it goes up on YouTube. So, wait and see. But I suspect you won't be disappointed with mostly the main stage. The only things that I want to watch on the secondary stage that's sort of like on at the same time as something on the first stage is Locked Up, which is early insight into some prison gameplay. We know that prisons are being worked on now, so that should be pretty cool. That conflicts with the Lawmaker's Guide. I do like some of the information I get from Lawmaker's Guide, but I'd rather see prisons. And the other one is the Ship Talk. So Ship Talk, learn about the new ships of CitizenCon and help the team design a future vessel. Kind of cool with that. I will miss the start of the cosplay and then go to building a dynamic universe halfway through Ship Talk. That's my sort of plan there. I didn't realise that they weren't both going to be streamed, but maybe they will. I'll, as I said, I'll find out and I'll poke CIG. Seems silly to not live stream both, right? As they've not got enough bandwidth at the event, or it's too difficult for them for some reason. Maybe some... I wonder what sort of restrictions I'll have from live streaming there. Like, I think what that sort of event they worry about interference. I can certainly record, but I'm not sure if I can live stream directly from inside the building. We'll wait and see. We'll find out. I'll find out. What have we got? Bored with the Carrick sitting at 43% completion. Do you think a price hike is justified? It won't be finished by the time of the anniversary sale, and it's like going to be unveiled at CitizenCon. So just because it's only got 43% completion by task doesn't necessarily mean that it is 43% complete. It could be significantly more complete than that. We don't know the size of each individual task, is what I mean. So we've got 57 out of 134 tasks. As we have seen previously with the A90 Jump, each individual one of these tasks could be a single prop on board the ship, or a single little aerial, or something like that. So a huge amount of these tasks could be incredibly minor. They could be individual lighting passes for rooms, that sort of stuff, which I suspect they are. It's going to be lots of lighting passes and things with switches and making sure that the landing gear works, all that sort of stuff. So a lot of this stuff, probably relatively simple to get in. Do I think the Anvil Carrick is justified getting a price hike? Well, it depends what that price hike is. It certainly is worth more based on how CIG is selling ships now. ships have got more and more expensive, and the Carrick is reasonably large and pretty cool. So if they sold it today as a new concept sale, then it would be like $750 sort of thing, at least. So sort of bear that in mind. I don't think any of those ships are worth those huge prices. Bear that in mind. And you'll be able to get them all in game. So all you need is a starter pack. But if you want to spend more money on the game, fucking great. You open the development for everyone else. And you're getting a ship as a bonus, the way I see it. It's a donation of love. Love donation. That doesn't sound like I intended it to sound. The roadmap is lies. I mean, sometimes it is inaccurate. I wouldn't say it's lies. You'd have to know that the information was untrue there when you're putting it up for it to be a lie. But it's a roadmap, and roadmaps, constantly get rescheduled, and I'd rather have the roadmap than not. I'm fine knowing that the roadmap is often inaccurate, but it still gives us a sense of what CIG are doing, and allows them and us as backers to help them reprioritize and helps them to reprioritize. Go, why have you got this feature here then? We want this before, that sort of stuff. Any updates on the Redeemer beyond it being more of a gunship focused on gun? And I believe it's staying with the Aegis brand and them reworking it. I don't know much more than that. It's possible it could be unveiled at CitizenCon. Is it true that I can upgrade to the Pirate Caterpillar if I beat Pirate Swarm? I don't believe so. You can buy it. I don't think you can upgrade to it. Discounted starter packs, question mark. Okay, who are CIG screwing this time? If you answered people who use referrals, you'd be correct, as referrals don't count if they spend $45, less than $45. I mean, maybe they should change it, so if the person has, maybe they should lower that amount by $5, so that people that get discounted starter packs can get it. Don't you have to spend $40 on referrals? Let's have a quick look. It might be 45. If it's 40, then you're incorrect. If it's 45, then that might be 40 though. I might think I might have already thought about that. It's 40. Let me show you my horrendous amount of referrals. It's $40. They've already thought of that. With a minimum value of $40. So, they're not screwing anyone over? Is that good? Maybe Bob, yeah, if they reduced the prices of a ship package to below the threshold to have a referral point, then yes, they should reduce the referral point limit to match that. Do you see what I mean? That was an arse about face way of explaining that. Is there a religion Star Citizen law? I don't think there is to much of an extent. There's organisations which you can start effectively as religions. I suspect there will be religions sort of like more culty in the game. But I don't think there's sort of like huge amounts of religion mentioned in the law. Could we have a possibility of striking it rich by rich mining by finding super valuable items that would increase the motivation to mine, like this possibility has in real life, making up the whole thing exciting? So that's from Cizero. Yeah, I would expect there would be some incredibly lucrative and rare and expensive asteroid fields that you could find. You might want to sell the locations of. Are they more likely to appear in the more dangerous areas of the game? Probably. Risk and reward is all about that sort of stuff. Chris Roberts is our guard and BoredGamer is the prophet. Ah, thanks. I want a Star Runner. Me too. The 1 year Star Citizen happens later in Europe, and you have a vacation planned in Florida. Daniel, oh, that's rough. Well, I mean, I think you'll have a lot more fun in Florida, rather than the Geek Fest that's going to be CitizenCon. Although I enjoy the Geek Fest. My friend owns a prospector. Will he be able to load the mined materials directly into the Caterpillar when docking is in the game? Probably not at that stage. So they are working on refineries, which might be in 3.8 and 3.9. Around then, maybe, if we're lucky. So you could probably refine the material down and then load it into your Caterpillar, potentially. or when the prospector can eject its saddlebags, you can probably then load those saddlebags into the Caterpillar. Eventually as well, they're going to have the ability to move cargo around to some extent. I'm not sure how you would move raw materials that are in your mining bay or in the saddlebags out of them. Maybe you just literally just have to take the saddlebag though. Will ship-to-ship docking be in 3.8? I do not believe so, no. I think it was going to be. It got moved off the roadmap a few weeks ago, and we don't know where it's landing at the moment. I mean, it could be in 3.8. We just don't know where it's landing. It's not on the roadmap. At least Fallout 76 is kind of a full product. You can get most of the content with one purchase. That is not true. There's lots of problems with Fallout 76. I enjoy Fallout 76. We're playing with a couple of my mates in my own little silly, like, messing around. It's not a great Fallout game. It's kind of terrible. There's lots of pay-to-win aspects in Fallout 76 that they've kind of gone back on. I don't believe that Star Citizen is going to be terribly pay-to-win when it's released. I think the advantage that you get from having spaceships is going to be heavily nullified by organisations, manpower, people playing, and people being good at the game. Well, that's currently my opinion on the matter, and we'll have to wait and see how far. It's certainly important to keep CIG honest about sort of pay-to-win stuff, because there are pay-to-win elements in Star Citizen. You can fucking buy ships. That is pay-to-win in elements. Can pay-to-win games be good? Yes, of course they can. As long as Star Citizen doesn't go mad with that, as long as it doesn't give you this huge advantage. What do you think of the clouds that were shown in the audio design stream and how they might affect landings? So, I'm hoping that we get dynamic weather at some point. I think in the shorter term we'll have static weather. I think that it's not going to affect your landings too much, unless there are objects literally directly next to you. When will AI turrets for player ships be in-game? So they need to work more on the AI. So there's some AI polish and some important stuff coming that they're working on. I would expect AI turrets and NPC crew potentially reasonably soon after, well, at least AI turrets, probably AI modules, after Squadron 42's release. I suspect the AI will be polished enough then for them to allow it. If you actually steal a ship in-game now, like a hammerhead from NPCs, if you target a ship with it, they will fire at that ship if it's an enemy ship. What are my thoughts on the Prowler? Looking forward to it. It's Huntresses, my chief mod's favourite ship. It's the first Tavaran ship we have in game. It's an Asperia remake, but it's a Tavaran ship. So I'm hoping we get to see a really cool quantum travel effect. It's got air shields, so it can have force fields up in the inside of the ship, so that you can EVA through them and your ship can be opened up without it being depressurized, which makes it a really cool sort of like landing assault vessel. Yeah, pretty cool. Oh, people are chucking money at me. Sorry. Anonymous Cheerer, thank you very much for the bits. Appreciated. Hey man, how Starship Troopers coming? Toblith. I mean, I just haven't had time to read it. I haven't had time. I should have taken it with me for the journey up and down on my holiday. I will bring it to CitizenCon. How's that? I'll read it on the plane. I'll read it when I'm bored, travelling. Yeah? I love you, Toblith. I'm sorry that I'm a monster. I know that I should read Starship Troopers because it gives me insight into future evil politics. Shite! When we will be able to use our characters' flatulence to give us EVA speed boosts. I missed you, Bored. I'm naked without you, or with you. I'm a nudist. Thanks, bud. I hope you enjoy being a nudist, Shite. It's pretty chilly in the UK at the moment. I can't imagine being nude in my house, even now with the central heating on. It's pretty chill. Very small board gamer. Oh. You're not. I mean, if you are able to get a park boost in EVA, you're probably already going to be dead. You need a sealed suit, my friend. You're only going to be smelling the results of your attempted speed boost, rather than actually getting one. Will we see? This is from Sharon James. We will see jump points at CitizenCon? Do you think we'll see? Yes, I think we'll see new star system and jump points at CitizenCon. I think that's very likely now. There's been lots of leaks about it, about the Carrick and the Pisces and the Pyro system and jump points. It's kind of expected. I mean, it could all be fake leaks. But I would expect it. I'm expecting it now. Oh, there's a lot of saucy BoredGamer messages. Thanks for all the saucy, sexy messages. Hi, Board. When is computer game Star Citizen going to be released? So Star Citizen is currently in alpha and releases a major patch every 3 months. There is no current date for a Star Citizen Persistent Universe full release. Squadron 42 is the single-player campaign and effectively a separate game, although it's all connected. That's likely to be going to be released either at the end of 2020, which would be optimistic, but between end of 2020 and sort of like mid-2021. So it looks like. That will be the first fully released product they've got. But Star Citizen Persistent Universe, every 3 months they're going to release a patch. Eventually that will be have full persistence. The game won't be in beta for a long time because really we need to judge beta by being feature complete. So at some point I will put a full Star Citizen roadmap to completion video out. That will probably be done towards the end of this year. Literally listing all of the features after CitizenCon, what they've said their priorities are and that sort of stuff, and sort of like seeing where we would expect them. We'll use the roadmap, and then what's the expected content after that, all of the features they need for completion, roughly, and then work out sort of like where they might fall. Because we need a roadmap to completion. Yeah, it's going to be rescheduled. How accurate is it going to be? Well, the features that they need to complete will be accurate, but exactly where they're going to land might not. Hope that answers your question to some degree. Hi, Board. Do you know if all the stuff you earn in-game will disappear with an update? All the stuff you earn in-game will disappear with every major update currently. However, they have been working on Alpha UEC and Alpha UEC purchase persistence between major patches, which we could see as early as 3.8. So that's in-game money and ship purchases that you make in-game. They might stick around after 3.8 if they can get that in. But it's going to be dependent on whether it's ready or not. Will there be ships larger than destroyers in-game, like cruisers, battle cruisers, etc.? Yes. So there is obviously King ship, which is like 3 kilometers long. That is a Vandal ship, though. I'm not sure if players will ever be able to own one. Probably will in the distant future be able to own one, even if they haven't got plans for them already. The Redemption Super Dreadnought is the largest human ship we're aware of. That will appear in Squadron 42 Episode 2, I believe. I think it's being built in Squadron 42 Episode 1, so we might be able to see it at a shipyard or something. Whether or not players will be able to use that ship is another sort of like story entirely. There's the Bengal as well. That's a big carrier ship. So I would expect to see cruisers and battle cruisers and that sort of stuff as well in the future. Maybe not immediately for the next couple of years. So immediately, you know what I mean. Server-side object container streaming, the naysayers say, a long way off. What are your thoughts? Well, we know server-side object container streaming is being tested internally and being used internally for a lot of stuff. That's not necessarily an indication of how far it is off. They said they were able to decouple a load of parts of server-side object container streaming and optimizations for it if they needed to. And obviously, really, we need some quite significant optimizations to have a larger gameplay area in 3.8. I think it's possible that server-side object container streaming could come in 3.8, or at least the optimizations to allow for a larger gameplay area for Microtech and its moons. So I don't think it's a long way off, whatever. I think we'll see first stage server meshing next year. So static server meshing at the end of next year would be my expectation. CRG really need to push for that. what gameplay are you looking forward to next after mining being released? So mostly for me at the moment, I really want salvage gameplay. I know it's going to be similar to mining, but I want salvage gameplay. I'm hoping we get more like treasure hunting stuff like that. The idea of going to areas, getting cool, being able to mine some cool stuff, hitting a payload of pay dirt, lots of money and that sort of stuff. It is quite exciting. What I really want is more expansive missions, more difficult missions, some crazy missions, and to make a load of money, being able to do those missions, and then to have them to have a lot more variety. So the short term, that's what sort of I'm after. Prison gameplay with that. If prison gameplay has missions associated with it, great. What have we got here? Thank you very much, Mr. Pinks, for the sub. Very much appreciated. A star. Thanks for chucking money at me, people, as well. Very much appreciated. I'm planning to get some devs slightly inebriated at the CitizenCon pre-party and after CitizenCon, and then sort of like poke them for information. Will there be portable scanning backpacks for scanning and mapping caves? So they are working on ways of being able to share information for locational data, to navigate better, to map areas or to see 3D maps of things for various different areas. To what extent and exactly how that's going to work, we don't know, but they are working on some stuff for that. Board reads every message on YouTube and Twitch. I do also look at stuff on my Reddit and on my Discord, just not as much. Well, I'm quite far behind. Sometimes typically it's around 10 minutes, but it can be longer. I'm in chat. Will we get awesome Carrick ready in 3.8? Yes, I think the Carrick will be ready in 3.8. Did you see Lando's t-shirt and recent Inside Star Citizen? Do you think we'll see giant sandworms at CitizenCon? I mean, it's on the Lear system, Lear 3, the planet Lear 3, is quite far away from the current sort of like the Stanton system and the Odin system. And the Odin system is what we know is going to be in Squadron 42, and we can actually see in the video showing my back in the background. I'm very stuttery today. I'm very sorry. I'm very tired. So I'm not sure if we'll see the Lear 3 system, or maybe the Lear system. Maybe they'll just want to show off some silly sandworms. You want to go join Salty Mike? Is he on? Is he? Twerk on. I didn't realise Twerk was. Didn't know that. I would have gone and said hello. We need to record for our thingamajig, our multiplayer gameplay as well. They said, maybe I'm wrong, that Earth is coming. When? We're expecting to see the Sol system at some point. Sol and Terra and that sort of stuff. We just don't know when. Is Star Citizen worth playing right now with the Aurora LN, or would I need a ship that carries cargo? You can play with an Aurora LN. Literally, me and Salty Mike have done a series just using starter ships. So the Aurora MR and the Mustang Alpha, and you can very quickly rent a better ship if you want to, or upgrade those ships to be relatively viable. Do you think they'll implement centralized turret controls so you can control some ship weapons like you would be able to in Elite Dangerous or other games where you can control a whole ship by yourself? They want to have, I believe, modules in turrets that allow you to slave them or make them auto AI or do some other stuff with them as well. And those are like the manned turrets. So you should have more choices for your ship for aiming the guns in the future. Will the 890 jump boost on sale at CitizenCon? I would expect it to, at a limited amount of hulls available. Do you think we'll be able to mine asteroids by hand while EVAing? You can. You can mine the small nodes attached to some of the asteroids by hand while EVAing at the moment, anyway. You can't mine the whole large asteroids. But that might change in the future. What do you think about the limited color to armor that we're allowed to have? Jaylee spoke about this some time ago. Expect much greater customization of armor and ships colors in the future. Will we be able to digitize people and put them in a game, just like the film Tron? We could feed real people to giant sandworms. So obviously you've got the FOIP, the face tech. I would love to get put in the game. They do have motion capture rigs to put people in the game, and that some people a couple of years ago at CitizenCon were able to do. So some people will. Hopefully I'll get myself transposed into the game. Do you think we'll ever be able to hire NPCs as an org and customize their outfits and ships if they function as a wing to match that of the human org members? That's a good point. I'm not sure to what extent customization of NPCs you'll have when you hire them. That's an interesting one. Do they join your faction? Can you hire them to join your faction? You pay them enough money? What sort of level of customization will you get with them? Or are they just like individuals? Maybe you can buy skeleton crews and crews as one sort of like thing and customize them all together. Or maybe you have no customization beyond them just joining you. They said they don't want NPC crews or NPCs that you can hire just to be like, everything's remote. You can have this huge fleet with you of NPCs. They sort of like want it to be more tactile and you to be involved. So we'll have to wait and see what restrictions there are with that. When do we get better FPS, less enemy shoppy gameplay, so it's going to be at least good playable for FPS shooting? I don't have frame rate issues at the moment. Like, I run in 1440p and I get the lowest frame rate sort of like I get is about 40, and typically I have like 80 to 120 now. So I think that it will get better and more scalable for systems. Systems become a bit more sort of like resource efficient, especially with server-side object container streaming coming pretty soon. The issues I have with Star Citizen is a lot of the network code stuff. There's like 250 milliseconds lag introduced into the animations, and there's a lot of jittering with animations and exactly where players are. So there's lots of optimizations they need to do with them over the next few quarters. Quite clunky. Someone's used the word. It's sort of clunky, sort of like slightly desynced. TRG have mentioned a jump boost instead of a jetpack. Do you think it will get something akin to parachutes, allowing us to jump from ships to flat surfaces from a decent height? Yeah, there'll be some way of surviving from ejecting in atmosphere. We're not sure what that's going to be, whether it'll be parachutes or jump jets or jump boots or something. Base Endeavour or C2? The Base Endeavour doesn't have any modules to it, so you can't really do much. The C2 Hercules is cool. Yeah? Depends what you want to do. Hello, your videos have helped me out a lot. I'm a new player for Star Citizen as of 3 weeks. I'm glad you enjoy that, Quantum. I'm glad you're having fun. Glad that could help. Is the A90 jump going to be on sale at CitizenCon? Yes, I would expect a limited amount of hulls. Sounds like a bunch of fun trying out. Yeah, it should be cool. But I would expect a load of those ships will be free to fly as well. That's what they had last year. Had a load of different free to fly ships every day. Hi, how many ships do you think will get revealed at CitizenCon? Probably 4. I would expect 4 ships. People are like, nah, that's loads. Yeah, it's loads, but I would expect it. Hey, Board, what do you think will happen with Port Olisar? So, lots of rumours about Port Olisar being destroyed, potentially at CitizenCon even. and then replaced with another station, or maybe not even replaced with another station, maybe another station nearby. So they've got all this like new tech they've been building for space stations and space station interiors and all that sort of stuff. And Port Olisar's legacy station, there's sort of like some artwork that suggests that Port Olisar might get blown up as well, and it's looking more and more likely, with just sort of like some of the stuff that was said in the monthly report. So yeah, I mean, Port Olisar will get replaced at some point or removed, and then cargo stations and large stations will get put in to replace it. I believe that's the plan. Shockley 1977, thank you very much for the Prime sub. Much appreciated. Do they sell lifetime insurance ships during CitizenCon? The new ships should be lifetime insurance, anything they reveal. Some of the packages might have lifetime insurance. Wouldn't expect everything to have lifetime insurance though. Typically they have like 5 years or 6 years of insurance, which is close enough. Your new PC will have a 3950X, right? Well, so I am waiting to the end of November, and then I'm going to see the reviews of the 3950X, and the Threadrippers as well. And then I'll see what's viable and useful for me, and I'll buy the motherboard and processor of the one that is. I mean, I'll check out the Intel 10 range as well, just in case. But obviously, all my stuff is recording, streaming, and video compiling. So it's mostly recording and video compiling that I'll be looking at when I choose the processor. But yes, a 3950X at the lowest, I suppose. That's sort of like, that's what I originally wanted, but then I've realised the Threadrippers are also coming out. Base building and space stations, what are we getting? We don't know yet. With space stations, there was original stretch goal of having player run or manage space stations. So there's possible that we will have space stations that we can contest or build or manage in some way in the future. Base building, we've got the Pioneer. We can build outposts in a similar way that we have outposts in game already, but some of these will have function for like mining and exploiting the natural resources of that plot of land nearby, and producing energy and power and stuff for things. So you'll have lots of different outposts that you can build for lots of different purposes with that Pioneer. And you'll, I suspect, be able to live on your base. To what extent we can produce food and fuel and be self-sufficient on those bases, that remains to be seen. But I would expect us to have to do quite a lot of stuff there. I'm hoping that they expand out so that we can create fuel and stuff while on planet. They were talking a while ago about being able to change the topsoil on planets as well, so that's probably for farming. What are your thoughts on the Titan suit board, Patrick? It's one of my favourite things that I like, that I want in the game. So it's the Titan suits are sort of like a cross between Iron Man suits and there's 40k power armor and a power loader, all sort of like mixed together. They look cool. I like the idea of something that bridges the gap between civilian and vehicle or ship, so that they can actually repel things or not get insta-killed. So yeah, Titan suits look really, really cool. Do you prefer ArcCorp 2017 or this new one? I prefer the zoomed out ArcCorp 2017 to the new one. I do think it will get significantly better. The new one is fully real though. It's fully generated, real, with much more complex assets. The only really, really cool thing with CitizenCon 2017 ArcCorp was the texture of the planet when they zoomed out from it. It was like, oh, that's cool with the lights. Hurston, however, is a billion times better than what they showed at the 2017, but it's all going to get better anyway. What are your current thoughts on how they might implement the prison system? I think it could be fun to have special zones for that, depending on where you're jailed. With missions you could do while imprisoned that might affect your jail time positively or negatively. Yeah, Mr. Pink. So I suspect there's going to be lots of missions associated with the prisons. Probably missions to supply them, missions to defend them, missions to help break people out. There'll be gameplay while you're inside, almost certainly, to help reduce your time, but also There might be other opportunities in there and other missions that you can take in there, contacts that you can make. So you might be able to break out from directly in there by initiating a particular type of mission as well. So I suspect it's got some good gameplay to it. It's partly a punishment though as well, because it's for naughty players. So they reset every 3 months at the moment because they like rebuild their databases and archive a load of stuff and change the way they do a lot of stuff. So they need to reset, otherwise it causes loads of problems. And when they don't, even with minor patches. So when do I think the next reset will be? Probably mid-December, although if there's something for CitizenCon, they potentially could reset it. I suspect there'll be like some mini updates to CitizenCon. There'll be an in-game event at ArcCorp, that's where it looks like at the moment, for the Anniversary Expo. Have the devs give you any indication as to when the Banu Merchantman will go live? And if not, when do you think it might show up? Well, they've got the Defender in game now, so that's the sort of like premier gold standard for Banu ships at the moment, anyway. I would expect we could see potentially the Banu Merchantman as early as end of next year, like in game. It's a big ship, but I suspect they'll want to get on and do it. Do you think they will show us something about the Banu Merchantman at CitizenCon? I suspect we'll see something on the Banu Merchantman this year. Sort of like some updates to it. They've probably got a load of better concept art for it, or maybe even like white box, grey box stuff. Guys, server-side object container streaming needs to be done before the whites can stop. That's not necessarily true. They said they could decouple persistence from server-side object container streaming. How long do you think we'll travel through a jump point? How long do you think will traveling through a jump point take? I couldn't work out how to say words. I don't know. Probably not too long, because if you're literally just traveling from a jump point location to location, maybe 25 seconds. What size ships can fit inside the Kraken? Probably very little inside. It's mostly on top. The large ships can fit. Does it have an internal hangar bay as well, the Kraken? Can't remember now. With how much of a massive part humanoid aliens are going to be in Squadron 42 and Star Citizen, why are we seeing so little of them? The only thing related to them in the roadmap are the Vandal ships. Yeah, so that's a good point, but it's probably because they're going to want to show some stuff off at CitizenCon, would be my expectation. They're sort of like keeping the Vandal and what they can do with them slightly secret. They sort of like hinted at some stuff on the in the monthly report this time, where they are able to now put full motion capture and face rig stuff from a human body to an alien body pretty easily. But I suspect mostly it's because that they haven't done most of the other races, or they've only done a little bit of them. But the Vandal is probably the most far through other than the humans, and they probably want to keep them as secret as they can. Sort of like on the down low as can, except for specific reveals for marketing and then for the release of the game. Or Squadron 42. From what PC World spoke about with AMD in the last video, the 3950X will replace the Threadripper 16 core with fewer I/O and PCI Express lanes, though they will be continuing to make making TR2000 and TR1000. I need to check out it's whatever is whatever's more suitable for my needs. It's literally that. With ArcCorp's landscape style, do you think it was a missed opportunity that the landing zones do not have roads to drive on? I think they will be putting procedural roads and roads in the future. I think it's quite a complex system, though. Have you heard anything about possible grav shield to carry multiple packages on contract runs from place to place without needing to run around stations. Sort of like the hover things in Death Stranding. I don't know to what extent we're going to be able to carry cargo that's not in our backpacks or in a vehicle. It'd be interesting to see if we are going to be able to have some other ways of bringing cargo with us that's extra to that. The Cutlass getting a bathroom. I think the Cutlass Red's getting a bathroom. Will going through jump points be very straightforward, like Quantum Travel, or will they make it some sort of minigame? I think originally they wanted some sort of minigame, but I'm hoping they just make it simple. So a mapped jump point should be just pretty easy to get through. Will the devs use Steam audio? What? Steam audio? What? How much will server-side object container streaming improve performance for us? I don't know. So they originally said that server-side object container streaming, its purpose wasn't to increase client performance. However, they've also now suggested twice, most recently again in the monthly report, that server-side object container streaming will severely increase performance. The idea of it is that it standbys areas on a server, so a single server can handle a large gameplay area, and then they can turn those areas back on that they've standbyed once a player's near them, and then turn them off when a player moves out of them. It's for server efficiency. It's incredibly important. So servers-wise and netcode-wise, should make it significantly more, well, server-wise, it should make it significantly more efficient. Shouldn't, to much extent, really affect your client-side frame rates, though I suspect it will have some improvements to object container streaming in general with it, and maybe they need it to then fully optimize object container streaming. So it has been described like the difference as night and day. So if it gives us a load of extra performance, fucking amazing. But that's not its intention to do that. Thanks about the Steam audio. Immersive audio solutions for games and VR. Cool. I'll check it out later. My biggest hope is that they've secretly been working on a second system, and it will be in 3.8. Oh, I mean, really, we need server meshing, static server meshing, for a new system. Although, they could do it cleverly with some other ways and server-side object container streaming instead, maybe. We'll almost certainly see a new system or two at CitizenCon. Will they show a new jump point in action at CitizenCon? I would expect so, yes. I suspect also it will be like, well, this isn't the final way they're going to look, but this is what we're working on at the moment, sort of thing. That's what Chris was saying. The in-game stuff like spaceships are not important. The fact that they have spent so much time to show such limited play is a joke. Yeah, I mean, you can certainly argue that with Star Citizen, it is a very, very, very slow development. Hopefully we're going to get a great game out of it, and they start showing a lot more of their progress soon. Over the last 2 years, though, they've really, really, really ramped up showing progress. They're starting to deliver on a lot of stuff. Look at where we were previous to 2 years. But it is certainly slow. I think it will smooth out frame rates, not necessarily increase them. And that's quite possible. Yeah, I would expect to see less hitching and more stable frame rates, potentially from server-side audio container streaming as well. I mean, they are working at the same time on new graphics renderer and APIs and stuff like that, and getting stuff ready for Vulkan integration. I hope they make other players look less ridiculous in game. Yeah, so they need to get the desync sorted. They need to get the juttery, jankiness of other players sorted. That sort of stuff, definitely. Something they've already got listed on the roadmap, I believe. What's a good way of making FUBC currently if me and my friend are going to be carving missions and sharing them? You can run bounty hunter missions. You can run them both separately. That's a good way of making money. Mining caves is a good way of making money. Running security post Korea repeatedly is a good way of making money. Now we have seen the Bandit Defender. When do you think we'll see the Merchantman? I think we'll see it as early as next year in game, like the end of next year, if we're lucky. I do think we'll see it a few times before then. Potentially they could show off some more concept and potentially even grey box of it this year. CitizenCon's on the 23rd of November. Do you think that instead of adding a new system, they could just replace the Stanton system with another one? No, wait. I mean, I could imagine them having you be able to spawn across two systems and even travel between them with a loading screen, or some other clever way of loading and effectively moving across the server without full server meshing. Potentially. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Stuffy Mink. They could have a second star system in a totally separate area in the Visit Universe menu, so you could choose the Stanton or the new system, so Nyx or Pyro or whatever. However, I would expect, if they add another system, I'd expect you to be able to move to it somehow, and move between them. Have they not optimized the game yet? No, I mean, not at all. I mean, they still need to add Vulcan support, and a huge amount of optimizations will be coming in after Squadron 42 Episode 1's released. 23rd of November is CitizenCon. I will be going down the day before on the 22nd. BRB, I'm just going to bio. Chair, you're in charge. Hail the great chair. Yeah, let me actually click on this first. I have returned. I have returned. I've even got ink in my printer. That's not a euphemism. Although, maybe it is. Need to get some new clothes. I've lost weight, but I've gained a load of weight in the last couple of days. Last few days. I've been eating a lot of delicious foods on my holiday. And lots of Iberico pork and stuff like that. Oh my god. Fucking love Iberico pork. The best Iberico pork. What day is this, CitizenCon? It's the Saturday, isn't it? Oh. What size ships can fit inside the Kraken? Right. I thought it was on the Kraken. Star Citizen. Let's go to Star Citizen Tools, mate. They've probably got the score. Kraken. So there are 2 internal hangars, 2 multi-purpose hangars for storing anything from supplies to ships. I would expect cutlass-sized ships, probably for the internal hangars. That would be my expectation. And then they've got the 6 landing pads on the top for 2 medium ships and 4 smaller ships. Whatever size you want, as long as you loop it up first. That is also true. If you run at it with enough force, you can get in anywhere. That's what I've been told. I see your chair is a Herman Miller, or reasonable facsimile. It is a Herman Miller. Nice taste and high quality chairs there. I sit down most of the time. I need a high quality chair. Otherwise, I'm going to be damaging my body further than I already have. Compared to past CitizenCons, how much more or less hyped are you for this one? Okay, so it's a mixture of 2 things. I've previously been to one in 2015, which is amazing hype because I got to meet people I've never met before, and I was a bit younger, and Star Citizen seemed a lot closer than it does now, oddly. However, this year's CitizenCon excites me because I get to see a load of people I haven't seen before, and I get to see some old friends, and Star Citizen is much more complete than it previously was, and there's some really cool stuff I'm hoping to see. So. All the delicious things do make you gain weight. I'm a bit concerned about the economy. How's it going to work? Will orgs have some sort of org bank to purchase capital ships? What about the economy overall? Some games have hired an economist. So, Star Citizen's heavily simulated with a lot of stuff. So, there is a simulated NPC population. 10 to NPCs to every one sort of human, roughly. But there's also like simulated populations on planets and that sort of stuff. So players will have an impact on the economy, but there's they're not going to be it's not going to be an entire player-run economy like EVE is. So there's going to be huge amounts of simulation going on with what the workers on planets and what the population on planets are doing and what NPCs are doing. So sort of bear that in mind. The last thing we really knew about the economy properly is they want this sort of like expansive dynamic economy that players can affect. There's going to be those commodities and that sort of stuff, and the economy and subsumption will all affect what missions are available in what areas, and how quickly ships get repaired, rebuilt, what's available. Everything will need to be manufactured, sort of, or simulate manufactured based on resources that they can get. So there's all this sort of going on. Tony Zarovic talked about it at CitizenCon a while ago. It's probably worth watching that video of my summary or the full hour that he did talking about the economy and simulated NPCs. Do you think Chris's view of the game will end up making it worse? Chris's view of the game is the only reason the game will ever exist. I think Chris's view and vision isn't always what's best for the game, in my opinion, but it's his vision. So a lot of the stuff will get reined back by people like Aaron and the other people there that are there to help him assist to make his dream a reality, and all these like game designers and stuff, and the rest of the devs. So this whole vision's not going to be able to be brought exactly how he wants it into being, but When do I get to swim and dive? So I think, is 3.9 got swimming now? Or have they removed it off the roadmap? Gameplay. I don't know where swimming is now. To be honest, I expected the 3.4. It's just animation stuff, really, more than anything else, right? What games are you looking forward to coming out soon besides Star Citizen? Doom Eternal might be cool. Let me actually bring up blah blah blah. Let me bring up my list of games that I will be getting. So I might try out Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC. I might try out Death Stranding. I literally bought a PS4 for Death Stranding. Borderlands 3 when it comes to PC. Doom Eternal. Do I have... What games have I bought that aren't out yet? I'm not a robot. Copies of Man of Medan. You all. £91. What did I buy? Cyberpunk, obviously. Yeah, the other one was Cyberpunk. I'm not sure if there's anything else that I can think of that I'm really, really in the mood for, like the idea of. There might be some other stuff. It's almost always going to be multiplayer games. I want to play multiplayer games with my mates that I play games with every day. Swimming is currently scheduled for Q2 in the Squadron 42 roadmap. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I still got people smart. People who are smart. So yeah, that makes sense. 4.1-ish. What I'd expect it for. Why am I shaking? I suffer from quite bad anxiety. And sometimes I rock and sometimes I shake. It's sort of like it's something I sort of deal with. Not necessarily sort of like, oh, I'm terrified anxiety. It's sort of like occasionally I shake and twitch. And what else we got? Which is faster in a straight line, the Kraken or the Idris, when not in warp? I think it's the Kraken, with all those engines. I don't know. I don't know the speeds of those ships. Oh, Vampire the Masquerade 2, yes. I am actually excited for that. Phoenix Point as well. There's a few games that I want to play. Would it not be fun if there was an attack on the burst that ended in total destruction before every wipe? I mean, this is just one of the sort of things that Operation Pitchfork sort of like want to instigate almost against the Vandal, which I'm looking forward to. A lot of people think that Port Olisar is going to be destroyed at CitizenCon. I hope we get big narrative arcs of incursions and invasions and different stories from month to month to month when Star Citizen's a lot more fleshed out. That's what I'd expect. I think that's what everyone would expect in a game. Lots of different story arcs and the changes in the verse and areas opening up, that sort of stuff. You're doing a video from CitizenCon. I will see what I'm able to do. I'll be in contact with CIG probably next week about what's happening at CitizenCon. I might have to get NDA'd or something for stuff, but I'll work out what I'm able to do at CitizenCon. Am I able to stream from the event? Is it just going to be recording? Who can I get to interview? And that sort of stuff, like officially. And then the rest of the stuff, it will be talking to devs when I can and doing stuff unofficially and all that sort of stuff. So, well, I'll leverage my clout as much as I can to get as much information about Star Citizen as I can. That is my main reason for going. It's not even really there to get interviews or to get video, or at least not to get video. It's there to understand more about Star Citizen, get more information on Star Citizen, and then be able to convey that information to other people. Obviously, interviews and audio and stuff, and videos, great. Probably better. But I want to know more about Star Citizen. I want to know more about all that sort of jazz. Oh, Bored is going to walk up to the ship pipeline people and go, "What's cracking?" Oh my god. If I can get some solid quality puns like that out, I'll be happy, mate. Right, does anyone else have any more questions that they'd like answered or want to talk about? I really enjoyed my time away. I was a bit stressed that I couldn't produce more videos. So there's a few things happening. Next Saturday, me and quite a large content creator that wants to get into Star Citizen are doing a stream together. I'll put some deals out of that. I'm helping take him around the verse, so I might need some people's help for that. I'll probably ask Salty Mike or someone like that, or an org or something to help me do some stuff with that, because yeah, that would be awesome. I had a really good time. I was away though, played loads of board games, got to see a load of my mates, like my everyday mates, then I can describe them, my best mates in the world, and I'm still recovering really from going away. I know you're supposed to recover on holiday, but I'm sort of like got back and I'm like, I'm so shattered and there's so much work for me to do. So tomorrow you'll probably see a Squadron 42 update video. On Tuesday I'll probably stream and get a video out as well. Me and probably Mike will be getting some more gameplay video stuff out. You can influence exactly what we do on those gameplay videos, and we'll put some more polls up. He's probably already put a poll up that I failed to tell people about, but I'll find it and I'll retweet it if I haven't already. I haven't already. When I find it, if it's already up, I know what I mean. Check out Salty Mike's videos about the gameplay stuff that we're running this sort of series in parallel, and you can see from my point of view or his point of view based on what channel you're watching. And I'll obviously we're playing together for all of it, so you'll be able to see that. We'll also be doing sort of like counter missions. So one of us lawful, one of us outlaw, criminal, and doing the missions against each other. You'll be able to see from our different points of view as well, that sort of stuff. So the idea is to have a gameplay series for each major patch that goes over what's available in Star Citizen and sort of works up from a starter ship to leverage what you can do in game. I mean, it might not always start in a starter ship, but I mean, I think it's good too, so you can see the balance of the game. We'll wait and see. We'll sort of evolve the series, but we wanted to do these like gameplay let's plays of Star Citizen, showing all its gameplay off. Will there be a station-based Hadron Collider like on the Endeavour? Maybe. I would expect stuff like that actually for tweaking. So there'll definitely be, well, almost certainly be stations or places on planets where you can tweak items and gear, and potentially even better than the Endeavour can. Maybe. Are you going to be watching The Mandalorian? Oh, man. No. Would you ever consider community gameplay footage being submitted for your background? Yeah. People want to send me gameplay footage. You can contact me on Discord and we'll set something up. High quality, 60 frames per second, 1440p sort of footage. I'm always looking for gameplay and B-roll. I'm terrible at recording B-roll. People like Morphologists are great at recording B-roll, and they've got beautiful videos and beautiful footage because of it. My main skill is being able to talk and record information relatively well and keep up on the information, and accuracy, I suppose, to some degree. How good do you think Squadron 42 will be? So, with what CIG have said and how much money and time they spent, Episode 1 should hopefully be the same sort of standard as original Half-Life 2 was. I'm expecting a 97% out of 100 game sort of thing, at least. Like they need to really hit a home run, and I think they could. What do you think science profession will entail? So a huge amount of things, including exploration, but it could be collecting plants for botany and then crunching that data down and then selling it, or it could be constructing drugs, or it can be scanning a load of different things, or it could be farming, or it could be tweaking and overclocking gear permanently. There's a huge amount of stuff that science covers. That's the problem with it. It overlaps with loads of different stuff as well. Will Squadron 42 have Teletubby AI that can track you down and turn you into an evil Cheesecake, what? Huh? What? I don't think so. I don't think that's a planned feature currently. But with Star Citizen's development, and I give it 10 years, and probably they'll try and do it. How do you feel about the direction the game is heading right now? It's heading in a slow direction. I am hoping that CitizenCon shows off a lot more of what they've got planned. They need to get out a product within the next 18 months. So Squadron 42 Episode 1, for example. And they need to start making Star Citizen more mainstream, delivering on its server tech. So they need to get like server meshing out next year, or again within like 18 months or so, really, to show that they can do what they said they're going to do with multiple star systems and larger sort of like server sizes. This sort of like making the game more mainstream. Obviously, we need a huge amount of gameplay with that. So all the different roles like salvage and repair and refuel and science and medical and all that sort of stuff need to start coming online. But I mean, they are starting to deliver. It's just slow, and that's the problem with Star Citizen. Your personal opinion on Port Olisar's fate? I mean, it's looking more and more likely that they will try and blow it up as part of an event or a pre-recorded video or something. And yeah, they've said they're going to replace it with one of the new stations that they've been building. That makes sense. Right. I am going to run off to get din-dins, because I'm really fucking hungry. I've been on a diet. I hate my life. The dieting. Oh, man. I'm hungry. But I will be streaming on Tuesday again. If people have got particular things they want me to cover in news, please drop me an email or Discord me. If you want to ask devs questions when we're at CitizenCon, there's a thread on my Discord, or you can email me at contact@boredgamer.co.uk, or there is a section of my community on my YouTube community stuff that you can post questions there. I will be compiling a list of all those questions, getting rid of the crappy ones, and then merging all the ones that are very similar together, and we'll see what we can do. Hopefully after this week, I'll be able to give you a bit more details exactly what I'm able to do at CitizenCon, and some more plans. I'll also get a video up with all we know about CitizenCon, and all the rumours and all that sort of stuff as well. Will Peppa Pig and Fifi, the flower pot, get added to the game? I don't think so. Although they might have like Space Peppa Pig and Fifi, the space flower pot, added to the game in the same way that we've got Star Kitten. I don't see the point of questions addressing questions like how good do you think the game will be. Specific features, however, are worth the time. Yeah, I mean, I'll try and answer people's questions, whatever. But yes, I do agree with you that it's more tangible to talk about specific features and stuff that we do know, rather than sort of like a, do you think the game will be good? Yes, I do. So this gameplay in the background of Squadron 42 is from the Vertical Slice from 2017. It should look significantly better now. I'm hoping that at CitizenCon we see some updates to Squadron 42 gameplay. Where do I get a space turtle in game? You can find them relatively easily at ArcCorp Area 18. So if you go to the landing zone there, you take the train to the main sort of area there. You can find them in the sort of like, there's cages and trays, and you can find the space turtles there. Find one by Dumpers Depot. You can find them by Twitch Pacheco. There's a video on my channel, Release the Turtles, which if you skip through, you'll see where we got the turtles from, because we run around and we get loads of turtles. Right, no worries at all. Thanks very much for watching. Make sure no one's like chucked fuck tons of money at me while I wasn't paying attention. No, but thank you very much to Mr. Pinks. Thank you very much to Shockley. Thank you very much to Shara James. Thank you very much to Shite. Thank you very much to Tobley. And thank you very much to an anonymous cheerer. All for chucking things at me, such as referrals, monies, and subscriptions, and all that sort of jazz. It is very much appreciated. So when are you doing another community stream? I need to do it. I don't know. Next Saturday, potentially. We could do. I'm supposed to be helping show a big content creator that doesn't know that much about Star Citizen around the standard system and sort of like what the game has to offer. So maybe we'll do it for then. I was thinking about getting an organised org to help me do it, and we could do it as a community event as well. That's very possible. Right, I'm going to eat, but I love you guys. Thank you very much for watching me. Is Salty Mike still streaming? Is that happening? We'll go and host someone. So let's see if Salty Mike. Maybe I could join him on his chat. Flash raid. Do you think they'll have an in-game expo like last year? Yes. It looks like it's going to be at Area 18, or next Area 18, on ArcCorp. There should be a tram or train should take you to a new area. But yes, I would expect that. Oh, thank you very much for the love. Someone's chucked something at me. Sorry, Scaper. I don't know what you've chucked at me, but I can see something's happening. There's like a thing that says something's happening. I love you. Just know that. You're awesome. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Like money at me. $5. That's money. I like money. Thanks, man. Very much appreciated. Well, I'm going to go watch Salty Mike. I'll try and join him. What's he? Does Star Citizen even have a plan anymore? Nice. Nice. Oh, I do love twerks. Questions. I'm going to go watch him. Are you happy with the state of ship combat physics flight model? Do you worry this hasn't been nailed down? Yeah. I mean, it's probably the most concerning thing about Star Citizen for me. I would like to have a much better flight model, flight model and ship combat. Don't necessarily have to have great physics or realistic physics or anything, but it needs to be a fun model. And it's not there yet. The combat's not there yet. ESP doesn't work properly. There's a huge amount of stuff that needs to be balanced. It's the most concerning thing about Star Citizen for me. But I mean, I think they can get something great with some of the building blocks of what they've got at the moment, and getting a lot of stuff tweaked there, getting a lot of the core systems in. So when we have physicalized components, when we have the physical damage system, all this sort of stuff, and subcomponents, I think that all helps. Anyway, love you guys. You take care, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for that extra question. Oh, I think I've gone. Maybe I haven't. Love you guys. Bye.